Hi there. I'm here to share with you today a card made with the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set and dies. This is one in a series of 4 that will be available to you who have purchased this bundle from me or have purchased the actual videos and PDF for how to make these cards. So this one took me all of probably about 10 minutes, and I'll just show you some of the steps that I did go through to get there. So let's get started. First of all, as you can see from the card, I used, and I'll just lay it there so it's in the picture. Butterfly Brilliance is one stamp, and from it, I have it mounted on my Stamparatus because that's where I'm going to use it. Together with that bundle comes dies, and you have 12 dies. They cut solid images like this or lacy images like this, and there is one die that cuts the entire stamp out like that. Plus, for the month of March, you can get this designer paper, and it also cuts that out. So you can see that in there. I have cut out one sheet of it. You get 8 sheets per design, and I'm keeping my butterflies in here, and this is one of the ones that I used from that. So very versatile set. Also for this card, I used my favorite Happy Birthday out of here, Peaceful Moments, and a die to cut the greeting from Tasteful Labels. So just want to share a little tip with you. When you have, these are great dies to have. There's different edgings on them. There's different cutting edges. And I went through and picked, okay, this one would look great on that card, so that's what I'm going to use. So if you have a stamp set with a greeting, you can do this to make sure it's going to fit. That one would fit, that one would fit, not much. But it's a great way to, before you start cutting, to know that those are going to fit. So that's what I did with that. And then for my design, I wanted a light background for the butterflies, so I chose gray granite, and then wanted to use that big butterfly. So when you get designer paper, it gives you the colors that are in it, and they are typed here, but my eyes aren't as young as they used to be, so I usually write it. And so saffron was the yellow. So that's how I picked my card base color. So I'll just show you how I put it together. First of all, cut my cardstock at 8.5 by 5.5, scored it at 4 1/4, and then I like to fold and burnish on a piercing mat because it tends to get it to lay down a little better. Well, it still pops up a little bit, but I do that, and then it's here for my stamping as well. So I've got that. I've got this that I'm going to stamp with the Stamparatus, and I do have my greeting cut out already with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and I'm going to hopefully stamp in the center of it. So there's my greeting. So I'm making the same card, just going to show you the steps that I did. For the butterflies, using the cut and emboss, or the Stamparatus, I have my grid paper marked, and I know already just by looking at it that it's going to be larger than my paper. So I can't use the magnet to hold this one down, but when I stamped that other one, it did stamp dark enough all the way. Didn't have to stamp it twice or anything, so I was quite safe with not using the magnet on that. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to ink it by turning my stamp pad over, obviously, especially when I'm using the Stamparatus. And there is my background. Now this one, I would probably pick the butterfly that goes there, or put my greeting up a little bit higher on that one, and I will see if I have another butterfly. Didn't do that. Oh, I do have one that has the yellows in it, except it's probably that one, so that's not going to work very well. The other big one, and that one's over just a bit too much. What I would probably do, I lucked out on this one because it just comes to the edge of the card. So the one I need for here is the pink one. So I'm going to change up my background and not use this, but I am going to use the Blushing Bride for the background there. Okay, so I wasn't Blushing Bride, it was Calypso Coral that matched it better. And as you can see, if I mount that here, after it's on the card, it's going to be over the edge. So I am going to mount the butterfly on here first, using my mini dimensionals, and then I can trim its wings before I mount the white layer on the card base. So there's always a workaround. There's never, we've discussed this many times in classes, there isn't a mistake in crafting. It's a chance to embellish. Someone mentioned something again the other day, and I can't remember exactly her terms, but it was along those lines. So just turned it over, trimmed it, and now I will add this to my card base. I do usually use liquid glue for something like this, so I've got a little bit of wiggle room, as we call it, to get it placed correctly. And I also like, especially when I've got a stamped image like that, is to turn it over and do my burnishing from the back side. So there basically is your card. This I will put on with dimensionals. I will, and I should have done it earlier, stamp the greeting on the inside just in case I have to turn it over, but and so on this one, again, just a matter of your choice as to where you want it. And for my sparkle on the So Saffron one, I use these, and I think I can still use it, but I might not add what I like to do is hold up a card like that, and I think on that one I will put just one of the clear ones. You could do all kinds of different embellishments, whether you use Wink of Stella on some of them. I'll drop a glue on there. Wink of Stella on your butterflies would look great. This, in case you're wondering, is one of our standard stamp cases. I have just labeled it so I can stand them up on my shelf and have them visible so that I remember to use them. I use them for storage like this as well. I do like to use my embellishments, but sometimes they get lost in the drawer. So after I started doing them like this, it worked much better. So there is your card. And it shows that you could make virtually 6 of them because there's 6 different butterflies. I used one for something already, obviously. But those are the 2. Again, just showing you how versatile the stamp set is. I will carry on and do the other videos for you and show you the rest.